Hi folks, and welcome to this week's track guide at F3 Donington Park, the full circuit. So we've got two hairpins to deal with and this brilliant chicane here where we try and murder the little bollard things you can see there. Otherwise, let's crack on to this. Let's get rid of that. Info tab for you. Track usage 45% is what I always use. Track temp 92 Fahrenheit degrees will be above my head. And you can see there we're using the identical setup to Donington. Now, I did drop the brake bias down from the stock. I usually run it as stock as I can from the setup, which is about 55%. I did drop it down to 53, and I might even think about saying 52 because the hairpins are kind of, the first hairpin down here is downhill. So you want to, well, you lock up the front wheels is going to be bad, let's put it that way. So yeah, having a bit more even brake bias to the rear of the axle should help you with slowing this little rascal down. The lap I'm actually going to show you is lap 20, which is a 121.774. It was on relatively low fuel, so bear that in mind. But yeah, high 21s, low 22s is where I'm at. Did another 21 down here with a bit more jungle juice in the tank. Otherwise, above my head, you should see my Discord where the OLAP, BLAP, telemetry and replay file will all be on there. Also, there's a little Google Docs that will show you the schedule of what track guides I've done in the past, and that follows the entire season. So I may have done track guides on a previous season, and you can go there and have a nosy and have a practice. The other window that will be above my head will be how I get into these sessions. So these are pre-recorded. Try and make them as accurate as can, so they use the UI, and that's how I do it. I live stream these on a Monday night, so you can come and watch me actually physically do them. But obviously, it is a week before the track actually goes live, so it gives me plenty of time to edit them. Otherwise, enough of me waffling. Let's crack on with the guide. Right then, Donington Park, and this fantastic little rascal is one of my favourite circuits, so let's crack on into it. You're going to need a good start off the line because it's quite a decent run into turn one, and basically we're trying to brake at the end of the pit exit. So nice and gently on the brakes, down to the third gear, turn it in, nice late apex, avoid the curb just there, it's huge and you will bottom out, and avoid the curb running too far wide here, otherwise you touch the graph and spin off, as my good friend Andy demonstrated there. That was perfect timing. Through the Esses down the hill now, you want to take it nice and easy. They're pretty much flat apart from this one there. You might need a lift on cold tyres. Took a few laps to warm the tyres up, so be mindful of that. Old hairpin, you want to brake just before the start of the curbing here, down the cog in the gearbox, clip the apex and don't run too far wide. You can nip a tyre off as I do there, but any more is an off track. Coming up the hill now, it is easily flat, all of these, and basically we're trying to get the best braking point for the next corner up here. So as this curb ends, we want to brake, but we want to brake in a straight line down the white line, if that makes any sense at all. Nice and easy, get it turned in nice and gradually, hit a nice late apex, get on that power as early as you can. Be careful of snap oversteer, you see I have a little bit of correction there. Just be mindful of that on the first few laps on other cars. This is a tricky little rascal, so just so you can see the barrier, the signage to tell you to turn right, that's where you want to brake and turn. You can cut it a little bit, but it is a little bit bumpy and there is an off track and a slowdown there, so be mindful of that. Just make sure you get on throttle nice and early and let the car run out wide nicely. Good lap time is going to be gained from that corner because we've got a decent long straight here. Coming up to the chicane of pain, death, whatever you want to call it. So just between the two bollards, it tells us there's a chicane coming up. We want to brake, clip that one and clip that one as you go through. It is very bumpy and it is very awkward. You see another little snap of oversteer through there. It is going to be very tricky. There will be some spinners, and if you do cut them, there is a slowdown, so be mindful of that. Awkward here. As we come over the crest and then downhill, you want to brake just on the downhill section. This is why I throw the brake bias maybe 52-53% to help with our braking and not locking up the front. Really slow the car down, but make sure you try and get on throttle as early as you can in a straight line. Be careful of first gear around here. Try second if you want, but I'm going around there in first, and just be cautious with the throttle for wheel spin. Another hairpin, and this is where I actually get it right. So at the end of the curbing, you want to brake in a nice straight line and slow it down more than I do. You see here the car pushes and gets an understeer. I want to be a car length over. I want to be on that curb right about now on the left hand side to get a nice straight line drive out of here, and that is going to be a good place to gain more lap time, because the more mile an hour you get down here, you get an overtake opportunity into turn one. So yeah, that is us done and dusted across the line, a 121.774. Not a bad lap. Things I can tweak, things I can improve on, but yeah, otherwise it's a very fun circuit. Just be cautious on the first few laps of cold tyres. Took a while to warm up, but otherwise have a good week. I'll catch you on the next one.